Hey guys, welcome back to another battle report on the Crimson Moon. We're going to be playing some Warmachine MK4 and never mind that old update 2023. That's a very old printout that I did. But we're going to be taking a look at the rule set. There isn't really that much of a difference between MK3 and MK4 that I've seen. Just a few small little details. In this game, it's just going to be a very small recon, not even a recon battle. It's going to be under 30 points. We're just using roughly 3 models aside just so that we can kind of take a look at some of the rules and how to play the game basically. But today we're going to be checking out, it'll be Signar, and they'll be facing the Dusk army. And we'll take a look at the armies right now. And here we have House Kallyss, the Dusk Army led by Hazaroth, the Narcisar of Ruin, who has 2 spells, the Abyssal Gate and Battle Lust. And with him, he'll have his 2 Warjacks. He'll have the Eidolon, who unfortunately is not painted. And we are sorry about that, but just so that we can get more videos out, you'll probably see a lot less miniatures painted. And it's mostly just the time. We just don't have the time to get a lot of these things painted up and put it out for a new video. So hopefully just bear with us. We're gonna try and do our best to get more stuff painted on for the videos. But for this particular one, we really wanted to put out a Warmachine battle report. And well, hence the one guy that's not painted. On the other side, we do have the Ghast, and he is painted. And I guess I should say what they have. The Eidolon has the True Sight head. He's going to have a null blade for his right arm, a light null blade for his left arm, and then he's going to have the forced cannon, which I think I forgot to put on him. So I'm going to have to, I'll see if I can't find it, and so I can at least throw it on there to represent the model. And then for the Ghast, he's going to have the arc node for his head, a heavy blade fist, and then the battle shield. And that's going to be 21 points of House Kallyss. And here we have the Storm Legion for the Signar side. Well, they're going to be led by Major Anson Wolf. He'll have 3 spells. He'll have the Arcane Shield, Electrify, and Jackhammer. His Warjacks will be the Corsair, whatever. He has an Arc Node for his head. He has a Voltec Broadsword, and then for his left arm, he's going to have the Electrified Shield. And then he's going to have his Trusty Striker. He's going to have the True Sight head, and he's going to be armed with his right arm, the Electro Bombard, and his left arm's going to have the Power Fist. That's going to be 24 points for the Signar. A little bit over what the House Dusk is, but it's 3 models aside. I figured that should be just fine, and just for us to kind of learn the rules for everything basically. But we'll set up everything and have it all good to go. All right, so in the game of Warmachine, each player is going to be rolling a die to determine who's going to be first player, second player. First player, whoever wins the die roll will be first player. They will choose the side they want to be on, and they will deploy within 7 inches of that side. The second player will take the opposite side, and they will deploy 10 inches in of their side. So we're just going to say Dusk is white, and then Signar is going to be black. So it looks like Dusk wins the roll-off, so they will choose that side, and they're going to deploy 7 inches in. Signar will deploy 10 inches in on the opposite corner. All right, so we are deployed. Now, since this is a very small game, I'm not using the 4x4 map that it recommends playing, as I just want to get real quickly into the battle and pretty much just showing you the game mechanics of the game. The game itself is actually played in different increments of points that each player chooses. I believe it's Recon, which is 30 points. You have a Skirmish, which is 50 points. Then you have a Pitch Battle, which is 75 points. Now in a game of Warmachine, each player is going to take turns with all their minis, and then the second player will take their turn. So for example, these guys, each character will activate and they will do their move action or non-move action, and then they will do their attack action. So once you finish doing that with each of your minis, then it goes on to the second player. There are 3 different phases in a game of Warmachine. You have your maintenance phase, you have your control phase, and then you have your activation phase. In your maintenance phase, you will remove any unused focus points from your warcasters or your warjacks if you have any that you didn't use, and then you will also resolve any continuous effects such as fires, poison, etc. And then after that, in your control phase is where you will gain all your focus points for your warcasters, and if you have warjacks that have cortex that are active, they will power up, so they will gain 1 focus point at the beginning of your turn. Then during your control phase, you also will spend points on spells that you wish to upkeep, have them continuously going, and you will also distribute your focus points to your warjacks that do have functional cortexes. After your control phase, then you're going to be going into your activation phase, and that kind of speaks for itself. That is when you will be activating each model from your army, basically, and taking 1 turn with them. All right, and then just to kind of look at an anatomy of a data sheet, card, whatever you want to call it, we're going to be looking at Hazaroth. We have your speed, which is how fast he moves. You have your arcane attack, which is what you're going to use for magical attacks or whatever arcane abilities he has. You have your mat attack, which is going to be your melee attack. Then you have your defense, which is what the enemy needs in order to hit you, which is a 14. You have the armor, which is what the enemy needs in order to do any type of damage. That's how much he can soak up. You have your ARC, which is your Arcana, which is the amount of focus that you will generate at the beginning of every of your turn. And then you have your Control, which is 12. That is the area in which your warjacks have to stay within in order for them to power up or be distributed any type of focus to them. And then everything else is just, that's just the base size. And some of these also have the points that it costs in order to field them in your army, basically. Then you have your different abilities that he can do. This is your weapon. This is a keyword in which if you just tap it, it'll tell you what it does. Your mat is what you need in order to hit. That's what you're going to be adding to your die roll. That is the range. So this actually has a range of 2. You can be 2 inches away from your enemy in order to attack. And then that is the power of the weapon that you're using, which is power 15. And in this game, you roll 2 dice. So you roll in 2 dice, and you have to equal or beat whatever the defense value of the enemy that you're hitting. And same thing goes for armor. Well, armor, you have to actually beat it, because if you equal it, then that means you do no damage. He soaks up everything. So for example, here, if he was hitting himself with a power 15 attack, you would roll 2 dice, and you're going to be adding 15. So then that means you're going to be adding, oh my gosh, you're going to be adding 12 to that 15. So you actually do 27 points of damage, in which 17 of it will be soaked up. So that means that you're going to be subtracting 3. So you're doing 14 points of damage, which would probably kill this guy. I don't know how much. I think the wounds are down here somewhere, but each character has its own. Oh, right here. He has 18. So yeah, you would hit off a big chunk of his health right there in that one shot. All right, so winning the game, there is 2 different types of scenarios you could play. You could do either the assassination, or you can do the execution. Assassination is basically your warcaster is killed by any model, just like any regular model. Once you lose them, you lose the game. Execution, on the other hand, the warcaster from the opposite player has to do the killing blow of his opponent's warcaster. In this case, we're just going to play assassination just so that it could be a quick game, and you can check out the game mechanics basically. And we're gonna go, let's say 3 turns, unless we can end it quickly. But since this isn't really a full recon game, I'm hoping to maybe get that starter that we did an unboxing for done, so that we can actually get a full recon game. So for this game scenario, we'll go up to 3 turns, or unless we end the game much earlier than that. So without further ado, we're gonna have our maintenance phase, which there's nothing, because there's nothing to take off, and no effects that are gonna stop. So we're just gonna go straight to control. So your warcaster would gain its focus. So in this case, he's gonna have his 7. His warjacks are in his range, his arc. So that means that they can actually power up. So they're gonna automatically gain a focus each. Now, during this phase, you can also pay for upkeeps, in which we don't have any spells, but you can allocate focus to your other warjacks in this phase. So in this case, we would say, let's go ahead and maybe do 1 more to our big boy jack, since he does have a gun. He does not, so we will leave him with just the 1. And your warjacks can have up to 3 focus points on them, so there is kind of a limit. So let's go ahead and take a look here and see what we can activate. We got to take a look at our trusty app. And just a heads up, guys, this app is completely free. There is a way to pay for it. You can do the monthly subscription, but you don't have to in order to play the game itself. So Ghast is just going to move up. He's going to have a speed of 6. And for movement, you do have the option of regular movement. You can charge, which gives you +3. You can run, which doubles, or you can forfeit it and get a bonus on your aim attack if you're a shooter. In this case, since we're pretty close, we're gonna run him. Why not? So he's gonna spend that focus, because you do have to spend a focus in order to do any type of like special action. And since a run is a special action, that means he's gonna be able to move 12. And since I only got this 1 hand here, let's see, 12. Whoop! He is gonna be roughly in this area over here. All right, so he ended up running this way, not all the way to the 12, but kind of to maybe get them to focus this way. And now the Eidolon is going to go ahead and just do a regular movement. He's not going to run because he does want to blast with his gun, and he has a movement of 6. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. The problem is in just 1 hand, and this thing just doesn't want to work with me. All right. Okay, so the Eidolon ended up moving up to this spot here, and now he's going to take a shot. He should be within range 10 of this fella right here. So we're going to go ahead and measure that out and see if it's within range. So let's see, we got, oh yeah, we definitely got the range on them. So it's going to be a range of 10. So now just so that you can take a look at his force cannon, which is going to be right here. It has RAT of a 6, so that's what I'm going to add to the die roll. Range is 10. Only has a rate of fire 1. If there was multiple rate of fires here, that's how many times you can shoot, and then that's going to be the power of it. Now there is an ability on it. The ability is only good for medium or small base models. In this case, he is not a medium or small. It would have worked on him. He would have been knocked back D3 inches. But in this case, he's too big for that force. So now we're just going to take a shot. So we're going to be spending 2 dice, and we're looking at Eidolon's attack, which was a RAT of a 6. So we're going to be rolling 2 dice. We're going to be rolling 6 to it, and then the man, I don't know the name of this guy. Striker. Man, how do I not know that? All right, so his defense is a 12. So that means we're going to need to show a 6 on both of these dice. Now, we do have the option of boosting. Since they have focus on them, you can spend one of these focus, and that would give me an additional die in order to give me a chance to hit better. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to go ahead and add an additional die. So it's going to be 3 dice, and I'm going to need 12s. All right, so in this case, we barely hit. We got the 6, 7 plus the 6. That's going to give us a total of 13. So that means we did get a hit on Striker. So now what we're going to do is we're going to roll damage. Now, the power of the Eidolon's force cannon is going to be a power 14. So now you have the option of spending the other focus to boost that damage. So you're looking at the 2 dice. We're going to go ahead and do it. We're going to go ahead and spend a die to give me an additional die so I can try and do more damage on Striker. So we're going to be rolling 3 dice. And for this, for Warjacks, you do have to roll an additional I would say roll a different die so that way you can roll the location, because when you hit, you're going to be rolling on a certain location in which if you do enough damage, you can actually cripple that location. So right here where it says health, you're going to click that, and then that's your die roll that you're going to roll, and you're going to see where amongst this area you're going to do damage at. Now, the defense of Striker, let's take a quick look here. He is a defense, oh, Corsair, wrong one. His defense looks like it's a 18. So since it's a power 14, that means that I'm going to subtract 4 from these black dice, since he is a power 18, or defense 18, I'm sorry. So there we go. We got a 9, 12 minus 4, so it's going to be 8 damage going into location 2. So now what we're going to do is we're going to hit this, and location 2 is going to be 8 damage. So now we're just going to mark it. Sorry about that. I had to actually start an actual match. So I'm going to do 8 damage. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's how much damage that he has taken. And if you notice, I was close to crippling his left arm, in which once it's crippled, he is unable to use that arm. Sorry about that. Actually, what that means is he's going to be rolling 1 less die with that arm. So whatever weapon he's armed with on that side, you'll be rolling 1 less die with it. So for the last activation, we're just going to go ahead and move Hazaroth. He's just going to move up his 5. Now we don't want to get in range to get killed, so he's going to take some cover right back here. He's not really going to have any range to do anything, because his one spell's 8, and that is way too far off. So he's just going to sit on this focus here. Actually, he's going to go ahead and cast, because I believe Battle Lust is an upkeep spell. Yeah, it's an upkeep, so it's going to cost 2. I'm going to spend the 2, and then he's going to have Battle Lust on this fella here, the Eidolon, so that he could be ready for the next round. And it does help to have just some extra tokens. I don't have anything to market, but this will just tell me that he has Battle Lust on him, so he's good to go. All right, so that is the full turn for the Dusk Army. So now it's going to go on to the Storm Legion. So we're going to power up. There is no continuous effects, so we don't have to worry about the maintenance phase. We're going to go straight to the control phase. So he's just going to power up his 7, and then the Warjacks are going to gain 1 each for their Cortex being okay, so that means they're going to power up. Now I know some of you are wondering, hey, how come you're not using the command cards? I didn't use them for this game, so there are command cards that you can use. I believe you can use up to 2 in a turn, and they pretty much give you special abilities. They can heal, they can ignore cover or terrain. They can give you Pathfinder, which allows you to ignore terrain. There's different abilities and different things that you can use them for, basically, in order to help you in your games. And when you write up your army, when you look on the app, you'll see the command cards. and it'll tell you like what to choose. There is some that you do have to pay for, some that are free. So it just kind of depends on what cards you want to use. I didn't want to bring them in for this particular game since there's really not a big playing field, and on top of that, we're mostly just focusing on the rules anyways. So for the next game, we'll definitely be bringing in the command card. So just in case you guys were wondering. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start with Anson Wolf. So he's gonna go ahead and cast Arcane Shield. It does have an arcane attack, so that means that I do have to actually roll on it. So it's going to cost me 2. I'm going to try and cast it on Striker and see if we can't get it. So it's a arcane attack of a 6. So it's going to be 2 dice. And I'm going to need at least a 6 or better on these 2 dice, so that way he can have his arcane shield. And that's going to give him +3 armor. So he's going to get it automatically with that 6. So he got it with a 13. So now he's going to have Arcane Shield. And once again, I'm going to get one of my trusty little items here just to show that he has Arcane Shielding. All right, so he's going to have at least +3 armor. So now he's going to go ahead and move. And let's see. Looks like everything is kind of short range. I guess maybe I should have activated him last, but that's all right. No big deal. We're just learning the game here. So we're just going to move up 6 to there. Now this is danger close because I'm real close to that guy there, but that's what he's going to be for. He's going to be hopefully getting up there. So he's going to go to there, and then he's going to cast, he's got Electrify. Oh, that's going to give me +2 to melee damage rolls. Okay. Sure, why not? We'll cast it over here. It's the same thing, and it's an AAT, and it's going to cost me 2. So I'm going to spend another 2. Oh, actually, I didn't even, my bad. I forgot all about distributing. So he's going to have 1 left. He distributed 1 here and 1 here. That was my fault. So they're going to have 2 apiece. All right, so now he's going to go ahead and try and cast Electrify, and he's going to cast it on Striker once again. And he got it with a 10, so that means he's going to have Electrify, and he has Arcane Shield. So that's going to be him done. Actually, no, he doesn't. Okay, I thought he had maybe a gun, but he does not. So now we're just going to move on to these guys. He's done, so now we'll go to the Corsair, and he is actually going to charge. So he's going to spend 1 point to charge. He has a movement of 6, so I'm going to add 3. It's going to movement 9, so he's going to charge right up there to take on this little guy. So I just got to come with it an inch. He's going to have 1 of those. Now, when you charge, you do get the +3, plus if I hit, my attack damage is going to be automatically boosted. So that means all I got to do is hit. Now, I have the choice. I could either spend this right now to get the bonus +1 die, so it gives me a better chance of hitting, or I can save it so that I can attack again with my sword. Now, when you charge, you do attack once with each of your weapons that you have in your hand. So I would attack once with my sword and then once with my shield. So I'm going to take a chance. Actually, let's take a look, because I want to see. Sometimes it helps. So the defense of the gas is a 12. So that means that I'm actually going to need a 6 in order to hit. Actually, no, I'm going to need a 5 because I'm going to need a 6 because my melee attack is only a 6. My rat, which is my range attack, is a 7. All right, just take a chance here. Hopefully it doesn't backfire. But we'll see. And no, we got him. So some weapons do have critical effects. Now, the way you get a critical effect is if you roll doubles on any on your dice, any doubles, but you have to hit basically. So if you miss and you roll doubles, it doesn't work, unfortunately. All right, so in this case we didn't get a double, but we do have it boosted because we did charge, and we're gonna roll location to see what we need. So the broadsword is a power 14, and this does have a critical, by the way, but I didn't roll critical, so it doesn't really matter. On a critical hit, models without resistance electricity become knocked down. So he would have been knocked down, which would have been nice, but that's okay. All right, so now the Ghast has a defense of 12, but he does have the shield, and the shield actually gives me +2 to my defense. All right. So actually my defense, oh, he would have been a 14, and I rolled, I think I missed actually. I did, because I only rolled a 6 and a 1. So yeah, I did miss with the sword. So now I gotta roll, I gotta try and hit with the shield. Darn it, he had that shield, I forgot all about that. So okay, so he had +2, so that, yeah, I did miss. All right, so after looking back at the film, I did hit. I got a 6 and a 2, which is an 8, plus a 6 that did get a hit, so that was 14. All right, so we did hit him. Ooh, by luck. All right, so now the sword, let's do the damage. We're looking at a power, his defense, his armor is a 16, and the sword, Corsair, is a 14. So that means we are basically going to be subtracting 2 from whatever we roll here. Not the greatest roll, but it's 6 hitting on the 3. Okay, so we did a little bit of damage to him. So now we're going to be rolling to try and hit him again. So we do need 14s, so that means we're going to be needing 8s again in order to hit him with the shield. So we did get him. It's an 11. And now we're not going to boost the damage, because we're going to try and hit him with the sword again. So we're looking at the... Oh, nice. So it does have a shock field. So that means I'm going to do 1 point of damage to the available cortex after resolving the attack. So it's a power 11 to his 16. So it's going to be -5. So looking at 4 points to location 4. All right, so as you can see here, we did the 4 points, and I'm going to do an additional one for the shock shield. So that means his cortex is going to be gone. So that means that he's not going to be able to power up, and I believe he can't be distributed any more focus until that gets replaced or fixed up. All right, so we're going to accept, and actually, he also lost its head, so that means he can't use his arc node anymore, because the head, I believe, is an arc node. And I think that's going to be it. So these are some things that I'm learning myself. I apologize, but yes, he did have an arc node. I could have blasted using his magical ability, using him as the arc node, and I could have blasted him here with one of his spells, but live and learn, man. We're trying to learn the game. All right, so we're going to spend that one last focus point, and we're going to attack again with the broadsword, and we're going to need 8s once again. So anything crippled was his head and his cortex. And this time we missed. We got a 7. All right, so he is done. So now let's go with the big boy. Let's go ahead and go with Striker. Striker is, I believe he can reach. He's going to try and charge, and yes, he can. That is 9 right there. So we are moving in. We're going to spend the point. He's charging in, going into there. Got to make sure I block this fella from trying to take out Wolf. And I got to remember he's got +2 to his melee, and then he also has that +2 armor because of all the spells that Ants and Wolf put on him. He's got the Arcane Shield, and he has Electrify. So here we go. Striker is going to be laying the smackdown on Eidolon, using his power fist. So he is gonna go ahead, now I have the option of spending that, so that way I can get an extra die, but you know what, we're gonna go ahead and take a risky chance, and we're gonna try and just hit him with that fist. So he is a melee attack of a 7, while Eidolon is a defense of a 12. So we're needing just 5 or better. Come on, we got to get this. And we got it. No critical effect, unfortunately. It does have beat back, which is an ability that's already built in. So that is not a critical effect. It just happens once he does a basic attack. Now, since it's only a push, not an actual slam, that means that he would just be pushed back once, just so much, but once he hits him, he would just stop there, and then he would be able to follow up, move up the 1 inch that he beat him back by. All right, so now let's go ahead and do damage. Now, since he did charge, it's gonna be a boost. So we're gonna be rolling our 3 dice, our location die. We're looking at a power 16. Eidolon is a defense of, or armor 19. So we're looking at -3 to the damage. But however, he does have that arc field from Wolf that he cast, so that gave him an additional +3. So now we're actually looking at just straight up dice because of that spell. It was electrify. Oh, it gives me +2 to my melee damage. So I'm actually looking at -1. So he's actually an 18 because of that +2. All right. So let's roll. And that is a really good roll. So the 2 is going to go away because that's what we're, the difference of the armor and the damage. Actually, it's a 1 because it was an 18 to his 19. So actually that would just, we would subtract 1 from that. So we're looking at 12 points of damage going into location 6. All right, that was a good beat back. So now we're going to spin this focus, and he's gonna smack again with that fist. He needs a 5 or better, needing 2 dice, and nailed him. And now because I don't have a boost, it's only gonna be a regular damage, 2 dice plus the damage. So I'm looking at -1 to whatever is rolled on this die. Got my location die with me, rolling. So I'm subtracting 1. So it looks like it's going to be 5 points to location 6 again. Now, whenever you roll the same location and it's just run out, you're just going to scoot it over to the beginning, and then you're just going to start filling in. So, for example, here you're looking at 5 more points. It looks like his left arm is crippled. So we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left arm crippled, and looks like that's it. So Eidolon's in pretty rough shape. So that would be the end of the Signar turn. Now there is a ability that all Warcasters have. It's a one-time, what they call feat. It's like a special action that they can do, and they can do it at any time during their activation. They just can't do it during, like, they can't attack, feat, and then do the damage or whatever you're trying to resolve. It would have to be before or after, or before you even attack. And the feats, once you've announced you want to do it, the feat is ongoing until the beginning of your next activation. And feats are very strong abilities that these Warcasters have that gives you bonuses and either additional die, additional attack, or they can strike again. So there's all kinds of feats that the Warcasters will have. Now these will all be listed under your characters when you go to your app. And for example, Wolf should have his feat right here. Give him hell. Now, if I was smart, I would have done this feat because what happens is when one of his models in his faction, models is destroyed, they can immediately resolve they can move 2 inches, and then they can actually do a basic attack. So it's actually a really good feat to have right now, because I don't know for this next turn if any of these guys are going to be going down. But anywho, it's all right, I forgot about it. But they do have the feats that you can actually do on your turn. You just gotta really know when to pop the feat, so that way it can really benefit your army. All right, guys, so this is why you want extra tokens to mark your characters with those dry erase markers. I forgot he had Battlereport, and of course there's my token, but because it's not written down, I don't know what he has. So with Battlereport, he does have an additional die for his damage, but he's -2 to his defense. So that means the striker would have been hitting a little easier on him. Didn't really matter because he did hit both times, so it didn't really affect the game, the outcome. But I would strongly recommend getting some tokens and just or pieces of paper, just write it down so that way you'll know what each character has on them from their magical abilities. Okay, so turn 2, we're going to go to House Kallyss, and we're going to go to our maintenance phase, which we have nothing here that's going to matter at the moment. So we're just going to go to our control phase. Well, actually, we would remove all unused focus, so that would go away, which is the 3 focus, but he's going to gain it right back because of our control phase. So he's going to be at 3 there. We're going to add another 4 to make it 7. Okay, so now we're going to go to our mechs, or warjacks. They're going to power up, so he would power up 1 since his cortex is still functional. However, him on the other hand is unfunctional, so he wouldn't gain any cortex, any focus, unfortunately. Okay, so now we're going to go to our distribution, and we're going to spend the focus so that we can keep that spell active. So we would spend 1 here, so that means he would have 6, and then we would distribute our focus to our warjack. So we're going to give him 1. And since I can't give him anything, he's going to have to keep the rest of it. Okay, so now starting with Hazaroth, he's going to go ahead and do his feat. Now his feat, if I'm reading this correctly, Restoration of Shadows. Remove all damage from friendly faction, extra large and smaller base models in Hazaroth control range. Additionally, each warjack in Hazaroth battle group currently in this control range gain 1 focus. So that means that these guys are going to heal and they're going to power up once again. So he's going to gain 1 power there. And since he doesn't have a cortex, I don't know if he actually gets it or not. I'm going to go with no, since he doesn't have it. So I'm just going to leave him no, but let me know in the comments below if he does get that focus since his cortex is out. My bad, he actually heals everything, so that means his cortex would be open, so that means that he would get that power for him. All right. So now Hazaroth is just going to move. He's going to move to this area over here. Now this guy's more of a beat stick. He should be going into hand-to-hand, but we're going to be a little sneaky here and see if we can't go for a caster kill. So he's going to go ahead and spend 3. And he is going to cast one of his spells on Striker. And the spell he's going to cast is the Abyssal Gate. So that is an magical attack. Now he is in hand-to-hand. That means that he is going to gain a bonus to his defense, +4, because he is in melee combat with Eidolon. So we're going to be rolling 2 dice. And his arcane attack is a 7, and let me see, I believe he's a 12 for Striker's defense. Yes, he's a defense of 12, so that means we're going to need a 5 or better. Just so that we make sure that this does work, we're going to go ahead and boost to make sure that we do hit him to guarantee this attack. So we got him, so that means it's going to be a power 12. So it's going to be 2 dice, then we're going to roll our location die, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a risky shot here, but we're going to go ahead and boost damage. And looks like 11, Striker's armor 18. So he's actually an armor 21 because of the defense that Wolf had put on him. Abyssal Gate is a power 12, so we're subtracting 9 from this. So luckily we did do some damage. So we did 11, so it's 2 points of damage to location 3. But that's all we needed. We just needed to do some sort of damage on Striker so that we can get the effect and push him out of the way so that Eidolon can do a charge on on a Wolf. Okay, so after the attack is resolved, if I did any damage, I can now completely move that model anywhere within 3 inches of the current location. So now we're just gonna kind of push him this way out of the way. And he will go to there. Now that's danger close, because if he doesn't kill Wolf, this plan doesn't work. All right, so now he's moved. He is pretty much done there. And now, since he's finished activating, we're gonna go with Eidolon. He's gonna try and end this game right here. So we're gonna go ahead and charge here, Wolf. Just gonna go move up. He's gonna have his 3 focus. Now he is -2 defense, but he does have an additional damage die because of Battle Lust that Hazardous has on him. So now we're just gonna attack. So now we're looking at, let me go to Eidolon's melee attack, and he's just gonna go ahead and use his no blade. Well, actually, he's gonna attack with both weapons first, and then we can start buying attacks. So now we're gonna have the no blade. It's gonna have a melee attack of a 7. So we're looking at, Wolf has a defense of 16. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and boost that. We wanna make sure that we hit Wolf so we can splatter them all over the field here. All right, so here we go. I think that might have hit, because it was a 7 on, yeah, that actually, no, that missed. Of course. All right, so now we have, yeah, it was a defense of 16, and it was only a 7, so it's only a 14. We missed him by 2 points. Oh boy. All right, so now we have his other blade, the light no blade, and we're not gonna boost this one because we're gonna try and hit with the other blade. So here we go. So we need, let's see, he's a 7, 16, we need 8s. Okay, no, we need 9s, my bad. And yeah, that's terribly gonna miss. All right, so now we're gonna start buying attacks. So we're gonna go ahead and buy it, and we're gonna boost. So it's gonna be 3 dice. And finally we got him. Of course, a little too late, because now we have no more attacks, and damage is gonna be 3 dice because of the spell. So we're looking at a power 16, and Wolf, I think, is a armor 16. So man, he's a tough guy. All right, so it's just a straight up roll. We gotta spike it here, because we're looking at 16 damage. We do have a chance to kill him. Oh, he got him. He got him with that one hit. That is 16 points of damage going into Anson Wolf. And Anson has 16 health, so that's gonna take down Wolf. Okay, so if you notice here, Wolf has 1 focus point left. Now, the cool thing about Warcasters is that if they have 1 focus point left, they can actually do what's called a reinforcing the power field. So what you do is you immediately spend 1 point of your focus. Now, this actually saved his butt here, but you can spend 1 focus to nullify 5 points of damage. So that means that one of these dice would go away, and Wolf would actually still be alive with 5 hit points left. So he would take 11 points of damage. All right, so that is Eidolon gone, Wolf is gone. All that's left is Gast, and he has 1 focus point. So all he's can really do is just attack here. He really can't protect what's gonna happen here. So he's just gonna strike and hope for the best. So he's gonna go ahead and smack with his blade. So he's gonna need 9s or better to hit. I guess he will go ahead and boost, because, I mean, why not? Maybe do some damage on the courser. So it looks like he's looking at a 10. That is gonna hit. The defense 15. With a MAT of a 6. So yeah, 16. He barely got him. All right, so it's gonna be 2 points, 2 die damage. And we're looking at a damage value from the blade is a 14, and the armor for the Corsair is a 16. So we're gonna be subtracting 2 points. So we're looking at 5 points of damage to location 1. So now we're just going to be hitting with his shield, and he's going to need a pretty high number, and that is definitely not going to hit. All right, so that is the end of House Kallyss, and let's see if Hazaroth can survive Striker. Wolf proved he was a little more resilient, and Hazaroth doesn't have any focus points. So here we go, maintenance phase. There is no continuous effects to resolve, so we're just gonna power up here. So Wolf is gonna get his 7. So 2, and he does have the option of spending 2 points to keep all this active on Striker. 2, 4, 6, only 1 more. So I think at this point I'm just gonna spend the 1 point, and we're just gonna go ahead and keep one of the spells because we're hoping that this will actually end it. So we're just going to keep Electrify. It does have an upkeep. We're going to take off Arcane Shield, so he doesn't have Arcane Shield anymore. The only thing he's going to have is Electrify, which gives him +2 to his damage rolls, and if he ever gets hit, he pushes the model 1 inch away. Okay, so I would say let's go ahead and power up. So he's going to power up 1. He's going to power up 1 because both have arcane nodes that are just fine. Now we could do other shenanigans here if we wanted to. Let's see. Jackhammer. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to actually go with Striker. Actually, we're going to distribute. Let's not forget distribute. So we're going to give 2 there to Striker. And actually, I'm going to keep the rest of it. I'm not going to do anything over here. I'm going to leave that alone. So we're going to go ahead and go with Striker. He's going to charge. And since I am within 3, he is not going to get that powered up damage attack. In this game, you do have to be more than 3 inches away, so that way you can get the boost on the damage roll. If you're within 3 inches, then it's just considered basically just basing. So actually, I don't even have to charge, so I'm going to keep that 1 focus, and he's just going to move into contact there because there's no reason to charge since I wouldn't get the bonus anyways. Okay, so now he's going to strike, and all he has is his fist. So now let's take a look to see what we need. So here we go. We're going to be rolling 2 dice. He's going to go ahead and boost because he is only an MAT of a 7 for melee attack, and the defense on Hazaroth is a 14, so he needs a 7 or better. So we're going to boost the attack. It's going to be 3 dice. We're looking at 7 or better, and he does not fail like Eidolon, that's for sure. So he gets the hit, and now he's going to boost damage. Or you know what? We're not going to boost damage. We're going to see if we can hit him multiple times here. So we're going to roll 2 dice. The fist is a power 16 +2 because of his Electrify spell. And then Hazaroth is a armor 17. So it's just -1 to whatever we roll here. So it's going to be 4 points of damage going into Hazaroth. So let's go ahead and mark that, and then we're going to strike again. Spend another another focus point to smack again. And actually, I think we better boost because it is a 7. So we're going to roll the 3 dice, and we got him. And we can't boost it, so it's just -1. We need to spike this here in order to get some serious damage. 8 points. Actually, it's going to be -1 because it was 16 to 17. So we're looking at 7 more points of damage. So, geez, only 11 points of damage. These warcasters are pretty tough. So now he's going to accept that. He's got 7 left, and that's going to be it for Striker. So now we're going to go with Wolf. Okay, so Wolf is going to cast Jackhammer. So Jackhammer, looks like I do have to cast it, so I do have to roll for it. It has an arcane attack of a 6. It costs 2, and it's pretty much the controller's range. So I don't think I need to have line of sight to striker. It just says to pick a model that is in his control range, which his control is a 12, so he's definitely within. So we're gonna go ahead and try and cast it. We'll spin the 2, and hopefully we can get the 6. Oh, he failed. All right, so I guess we can try and cast it again. Why not? This is gonna leave him down to only 1 point, but them's the breaks. We're gonna try and do something here. And he fails it with a 1. Okay, well, that failed miserably, and I guess now he's just gonna strike because he has no other way to cast that spell. So I guess I should just boost it. Oh well. So he's just gonna strike using his hammer and his sword. He's just gonna hit Eidolon. So his galvanic sword. And it's a melee attack of an 8, and it's a -2 for Eidolon because he does have that. He does have the Battlelust spell on him. So Eidolon is -2 to his defense. So he's looking at 10. So he just needs 2s or better. So he got him with a hit, and actually it's a crit hit. But I don't think that Wolf has any type of crit on his galvanic sword. He has Electro Leap, but that doesn't matter because there's nobody close by for that to jump over. So it's power 15, and Eidolon is a 19, so we're looking at -4 to whatever we roll. So it looks like 5 points of damage to location 3. Well, darn it, I should have hit with the hammer first because it does have a crit effect. If I roll a critical, and if the enemy doesn't have resistance electricity, he becomes knocked down. Oh well, them's the breaks. All right, so we need a 2 or better again because it's a melee attack of an 8. This is a power 15, so it's gonna be a -4 to the damage. Didn't get a crit, but we did get a hit. And he is not gonna boost, he's just gonna go ahead and smack. So 3 points to location 1. And I mean, why not? I mean, the 1 point's not really gonna save him on this next turn, so he's just gonna strike again. He's gonna hit with that hammer, see if he doesn't get a critical knockdown. And he does not, but he does get a hit. And it is -4. So we're looking at 3 points to location 6. All right, so now we're just gonna use the Corsair, and he's just, I don't know if I can do this, but I'm gonna do it. He's gonna move just so that he can get into combat range of Hazaroth. Now, if you leave, and if you're in close combat with another enemy model, you do have to forfeit your attack. But in this case, he is not gonna forfeit. He's not gonna leave. He's gonna still stay in the same vicinity. He's just gonna enter the combat range of Hazaroth. So in this case, he would just move slightly, and he's gonna move to there, just to make sure that he is perfectly still in his combat range, but he is just engaging Hazaroth as well. So let me know in the comments below if I can do that. I remember in the old rules you could, and I couldn't really find anything in the rule book, or maybe I just missed it. But if we can't, hey, just let me know in the comments below. But I'm gonna strike Hazaroth, and he can't boost. Well, yeah, he can. He can boost. He does have one focus. So he's gonna smack with his sword. So he's gonna roll 3 dice. And let's see if we get a hit. And I don't even think he hit either way. So he got a miss. He missed it by 1 whole freaking die. All right, so now he's just gonna hit with his shield. Same thing, Hazaroth, and he missed. All right, so that's gonna be it for the Signar turn. Going on to turn 3. So Hazaroth actually lived, and he's just gonna go ahead and, I guess we're just gonna go straight to our control phase. We don't have anything in our maintenance phase. So here we go. So we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's gonna be it there. Over here, he's gonna power up because his cortex is still wide. It's still working. And then we have gas, which is also fully functional ever since that feat that he popped. And actually I forgot to pop his feat, but I don't think it's really going to matter. I think we're just going to go ahead and power up here his control. He is definitely within range of Eidolon, so he's going to give him 2. And he's going to go ahead and spend the 1 point to upkeep that feral ability, or the bloodlust, battle lust, whatever it is. Anyways, so that just means that he's going to be -2 defense, but he's going to be an additional die on the damage. So he's kind of stuck here, so we're not going to activate him. We're going to go ahead and go with Eidolon, and he's going to go ahead and strike. He is going to go ahead and spend a point to go ahead and make sure that he hits Wolf this time, which he is, because he does not fail twice. And yes, he hit 5, 9, that's a 10. Plus, I believe it's a 7. So we're looking at 17, and Anson Wolf is a defense of 16. So, whew, man, he just barely got hit. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and spend the point. Actually, we don't even have to spend the point because it's already boosted because of the Battle Lust. So we're gonna have 3 dice. Oh, that's a good damage roll. So we're looking at armor 16 from Wolf and the weapon from Eidolon. Keep in mind, all we need is 5 points to take him down. The Null Blade is a 16, and it's a 60. It was just going to be a straight up roll, so that's definitely enough to kill him. So that means that Wolf goes down, everything becomes inert, and House Dusk has taken the game. There we go, guys. House Kallyss taking it home against the Signar Storm Legion. A lot of fun. I'm so happy that we finally got Warmachine on the channel, and we're hoping to bring a lot more of it very soon. I do apologize for a lot of the stuff that we didn't use that is included in the new game, such as the command cards. We'll definitely be using those in the next game set that we play. We're going to try and get as much stuff painted for that game, which is going to be the starter box that we unboxed a couple of weeks ago. And that's going to be more of the Horde side, which is not really that much of a difference, but there is a few things that you'll notice that is a little different. Guys, if I made any mistakes, please feel free to comment below. Let me know so that way I can get better at playing the game. And if you enjoyed the content, please give us a like. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button so that way you won't miss out on any type of content that we are putting out in the future. We are going to try and put out a lot more stuff, especially Warmachine. We're going to definitely try and work on getting some more Warmachine out. For those of you that have already subscribed, we thank you so much, and we thank you for the support. We are going to continue to pump out more videos, but that's going to be it for this one, guys. Keep rolling your favorite dice, and don't forget to always paint your walls crimson. Take it easy.